been tough.
What's the big idea, guys?
So I watched this documentary on Amazon Prime. It was made a long time ago about blackjack players, like professional blackjack players, and they like can count cards. They have this whole system. They, in theory, should be able to beat the game. Like they're playing it. You know, it follows this guy who's a professional blackjack player, and he's like making his rounds. And eventually, when you're just, even though they're not writing anything on a piece of paper or anything like that, the casinos watch as you're playing. And then when you're like betting, and then you don't bet, and then you're betting, and then you don't, like they know. They're like, he's counting cards in his head, like he's a professional.
Yeah.
And they'll come and like you're done
Whisk
here,
you
man.
away,
We don't want your business anymore, and they can kick you out.
Wow.
And once you eventually get enough of like a reputation, they're all linked, and they will send like the security photo from you, and then you're basically like flagged. So this guy, you know, he can win at blackjack, and he knows he's, you know, flagged in the system. So he decides he's going to go and hit all of the casinos, do one last run, and try and like squeeze as much out of being a professional blackjack player. So he'd have like hidden disguises and all this, and go into one casino wearing like a mustache or whatever, play a little bit, get caught. Then he'd go and get like a haircut, like shave his head, go to the next one. He'd maybe be able to get away with that, and he would make some money, or he'd sometimes even lose. And this guy's got the most odds of anybody.
And he's still losing.
And he's still losing. So I was pretty turned off by that, because I'm like, how the fuck am I supposed to win? So anyways, this guy was up like 680 grand.
Whoa.
He played every day, 7 days a week, for a year and a half, for 10 hours. Like at like a year, I think he was at like 600 some grand. And then he ended up losing like quite a bit, and ended up walking away at like a year and a half with only like, not only, but $475,000.
Wow.
And like there would be times when he'd like lose 10 grand a day. Some days he'd go 30. But it was the biggest turnoff for me, because I was like, this guy's losing 10 grand a day sometimes, and he's like
a professional.
He's the one who's supposed to be winning. How am I supposed to win it all? And then now I'm like, I don't even know if I want to play blackjack anymore.
Really?
Wow.
After watching it, it turned me off, man. I'm just like, well, what the fuck? Like, this guy was playing hard, dude. A year and a half worth. You know, he's rigging it, at least for himself, and it's in his favor somewhat, and he only went up that much.
Wow.
If it makes you feel any better, people that play slot machines know they're rigged and still play them. So,
Hold on.
So there's that.
What I'm more confused about is every time we sat down at the blackjack table, you planned on
I was planning on
just
winning.
for everything.
You know, I thought maybe eventually I'd get better and like start having a higher chance. Like, what is my
success rate.
What
Well,
is
yeah, but
my
you
odds of winning if this guy's going in and losing?
No, I know. And I say that jokingly. Like, obviously, everyone wants to win. That's why you gamble. But I think at this point, how many times when we sat down at a blackjack table together, got up a little bit, should have walked, didn't, and then lose everything?
It's just a Hail Mary at the end.
Every
typically
single
for me.
time, dude.
Yeah.
Every single time.
I
Hail
watched my first live stream, like Kick,
Yeah.
Twitch live stream last night, and it was my favorite gambler, Vegas Matt, and Steve Will Do It, gambling together. It was so sick. Like,
It's funny because we ran into Vegas Matt at
the stadium.
and he asked you guys for a picture. It was so weird because you guys were Ryan
asked us
I
for a
walked up to
picture.
him.
Ryan freaking loves this guy. He goes, holy shit, that's Vegas Matt. Ryan walks up to him and he asked Ryan for a picture. I'm like, no fucking way. This guy watches our shit. Turns out he just wanted a picture with Vikings fans. Didn't know that Ryan's on YouTube or anything, but it was so funny.
And then cropped Ryan out of the photo.
I was the only one who liked him. dude.
Yeah,
I mean,
dropped Ryan out.
put you in, was it? Or
Yeah, you two and Grandpa Ron were in it, and
Oh
then
my
I'm just
God.
cropped
That's
out. It's
so
like having me. But anyway, still supported the stream, and they sat down and played blackjack, and like obviously we're slightly degenerate, but I think we all have a little bit of.
Those guys seem to be winning though.
Dude, it was chaos. They walked in there, and Steve was down at one point like 20 grand. And he's like, we got to get this back. This big hand. He'll just like throw 10 grand on a hand. And they're like sitting there. And then it win. And then they ended up playing up to where Vegas Matt was up 5 grand. And he was like, I'm happy. I was just down 10. I'm up 5 grand. I'm happy. Steve's like, all right, I'm just going to finish this. I got to get up 25 grand and then I'll come and meet you. Steve goes down another, like, where he was almost even. I'm like, Steve, walk. Like, we're all, Randy's there watching.
Really?
Alondra's on her phone because she wasn't obviously entertained by it. And then we're watching on the TV. And I'm like, Steve, walk away. This is so bad. Ends up winning like 30K by the end of it. Like he was just kept playing and had all these different strategies and all the little side bets, and it was magic to watch.
Yeah.